welcome to the Get At Gaming Plus podcast. I am Alex,
I'm Ben.
and we like to talk about cool things, nerdy things, just things that we like. Um, that could be video games, that could be anime, that could be TV shows, movies, cartoons, comics, and a few of those things all molded into one thing, and that's our main thing. I'm saying thing a lot. It's the main topic of the show for today. We're gonna talk about Ninja Turtles movies. We're gonna rank them all, and I think it's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna use that tier ranking thing that everyone uses, so you know what that looks like if you're an audio listener. Um, Go to youtube.com/getatgaming and you can see the video eventually once we post it. And so you can see the visuals of the ranking, see where we're gonna put stuff. If you're on youtube.com/getatgaming, why don't you go to Spotify or iTunes or any of those lovely places that you like to go to listen to podcasts, and search up Get At Gaming, and you should hopefully be able to find us there. Give us a like, give us comments. If you go to anchor.fm, yes, anchor.fm/getatgaming, you can go and leave us a voicemail. We would really appreciate it. The only problem is you have to actually make an account for Anchor in order to do it. So I know that's why a lot of you haven't done it. So I don't blame you, but at the same time, it'd be really cool if you did it just for us.
It'd be great just to do a whole show of voicemail questions.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
It would be really, really cool. So yeah, we appreciate that. Like what we usually start with the beginning of the show, I don't really have much to say. But we normally like to talk about like what we've been playing or something called hidden trophies, where we talk about just things that we've found and bought over the week. I don't have my stuff in here, so like, I mean, the only things that I can say I've been doing, I'm just gonna go first, I guess, here really quick. Only really just playing Dot Hack on Twitch. I streamed that a couple times, maybe only once. I'm not sure. I forget. And then I've still been buying stuff from Whatnot. So yeah, I'm almost there. I almost have all of Kingdom Hearts on Japanese. I just need Final Mix for PS2. I need Dream Drop Distance for 3DS. I need 2.5 for PS3. I don't want the PS4 version unless I just come across it. And I want Kingdom Hearts 3 for PS4. But yeah, I'm almost there. Oh wait, no, I guess there's a Final Mix for Birth by Sleep for PSP. So yeah, I need that too. But I'm getting there. I played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts on my own time, and I played it in Japanese. Got to Traverse Town, took about an hour. I don't really know Japanese, but they were all speaking things, and I played that game enough times where I could just muscle memory my way through it. And since the original Kingdom Hearts, you can't use like the stick to move the camera. It's horrible with controls. Yeah, so like Final Mix is probably my preferred method, so I'm looking forward to get a copy of that. But with Final Mix though, Tetsuya Nomura, like the creator director, he prefers the English voice acting because he thinks that is like the way to play it. So on all the Final Mix versions, everything's in English, and then all the dialogue and stuff is in English, but then all the actual like menu stuff is in Japanese. But with the original versions, it's all Japanese, so like voices and stuff. So you get to hear like Japanese Donald Duck, and it's really cool. He just sounds like Donald Duck, but you can't understand what he's saying anyway. So like, it works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ben, what have you been playing, or what have you bought?
Well, I have things coming. So next week we should have a pretty good hidden treasure show. Well, I went back to Halo. Season 2 just came out. Wow. Not liking the update. Just too many things in there. Like they definitely nerfed a couple of the guns, which I'm okay with, but I feel like it's not done very well. And I was actually went to Kotaku to look at the botched thing that I was talking about, and some of these have happened to me. So there are a lot of times where I will be in the middle of a match and it just closes out, and
Mm-hmm.
I get a message. Uh, you know, the big thing is like your gun will jam up for no reason, and then you're like stuck, and you could be in the middle of a firefight and your gun's jammed up. Just little things there. So I'm not enjoying it as much as I thought. The
Mm-hmm.
new maps are great. Um, last last Spartan standing is weird because it's basically like 10 people, I think, or maybe a little bit more. And it literally is like you can die a certain number of times and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But the more people you kill, you you get upgraded weapons. So you start off with two weapons that aren't very good, but once you kill somebody, you move up to the next weapon. You kill two people, you move up to the next weapon. Um, so it literally is last man standing. And so if you're out, it says, "Hey, you can exit the game with no penalties, but then you don't get your XP."
Hmm.
So there's that. That's yeah, they're gonna fix it. It'll get better. And then the other one I was super excited about was Trek to Yomi, if I'm saying it correctly. Side-scrolling samurai looking movie. It very much has that feel of a Kurosawa film.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how much I love Ghost of Tsushima, so I gave this one a whirl.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know yet. I'm going to stream this on Thursday. I've played about a half hour. So I'm going to stream it on Thursday. So if you guys want to check us out at Get At It Gaming on Twitch, and you guys can see for yourself, I think it's okay. I don't think it's like great. The visuals look awesome. I will tell you that. The visuals and the feel, um, it does feel like that type of movie. It's the same type of story. So your master gets killed, so you're looking to get revenge, you know, and the movements seem very simplistic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have blocks, you have parry, and then you have like a couple different attacks. And the more you do, the more attacks you get. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's weird because you have to hit like button to switch from. So it's side scrolling, right? So if you have someone on either side, you have to hit like one of the buttons to flip back and forth, you know?
Hmm.
And that's weird. Like it doesn't make it more fluent. Instead of just using like one of the sticks to turn to the left or the right, you have to
Interesting.
actually hit a. Yeah, I thought that was weird, but um, yeah, that's all I've been playing. I also have some purchases coming from Whatnot. Um, some really one game is just a pretty common, but the other game is not a common. Uh, and I got a really good deal on it. I was super stoked.
Nice.
And I was telling Alex, somebody was really mad because I bid $35 and they swore up and down that they bid 39, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason mine went through and theirs didn't.
Well,
So I mean
too bad.
it sucks. But that person was not happy in the chat and was demanding that that game become his.
It's a problem with Whatnot. That's not a problem with the seller. So take it up
No.
with Whatnot. The app has been really buggy. I've noticed. I had to. I recently updated, and now it's a push feedback, kind of like when you hit the bid button. So I guess it's to not accidentally bid anymore. But the problem with that is that sometimes you have to just hit it in the right spot. There was one time when I was trying to bid on something and it wouldn't let me. So like
Yeah,
I had to like keep hitting it and it still wasn't working. So I'd like leave the stream, come back really quick, and then hit it. Hopefully I was within the 10 seconds or whatever. Because I don't bid until the last 10 seconds because that's the only time that matters.
yeah, and I know, I love how they make it so. Yes, snipers can't come in,
Unless
because
you do it as a what do you call it? You can turn it on to a certain way to where snipers can do.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I'll bid at the very last second, give it another 10 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I'm excited. So I just got granted to be a whatnot seller. Um, Super stoked to be able to do it. Um, Alex is gonna. I told Alex he needs to come on my stream because every game will be $1. I'm gonna start the bidding at $1 every game. For now, I don't think every stream will be this way, but yeah, I think it's great. I will tell you that I've been able to get games that normally I wouldn't be able to get. Um,
Yeah.
I've mentioned it before. Ren and Stimpy that I got, I've never seen that out ever. Now I have tried to get GI Joe on NES. That one is just an expensive game all the way around, but then it's
Mhm.
sold for $60. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a great app. I really do. I think
It,
it does
it
have its.
is. Yeah. It is a really good app. My only issue with it, and this isn't necessarily an issue with the the app, it's more of an issue with the clientele and the other communities that are here. Like, thankfully, the communities who I've talked to for the most part, like for what I buy, they're pretty chill and stuff. But a lot of them are just resellers too, and they're just all resellers, just buying and bidding, and then taking it for their own stuff, and then selling it there potentially, and buying and bidding and all this other stuff. So it's just a nonstop bid war, and I'm just sitting here like, I just want this for me.
Yeah, and and I think that's the hard part. Like, I unfortunately collect NES, and it's a hot one now. So there are times where I know I'm getting bid against, and it's like the same guy that's bought 6 other items. You kind of got an idea that's a reseller.
Well,
Um,
yeah, there are people who know how much it's worth, so then they bid to that. Because either a they want to keep their value of their game that high, so people know like, oh, it's supposed to be this much, or um, they're trying to get it as cheap as they can, so then they can resell it. Because like, yeah, I've seen a few people who are like, wow, this goes for this much and you all didn't buy it, like, why, are you crazy? I'm like, no, I'm not a reseller, and I don't want to spend $60 or $130 on one game, because I'm not going to resell it. This is just for me, and I know when to stop for me. Otherwise I'd be buying a bunch of stuff for super expensive.
I also think the biggest thing is what we noticed. What was it? So I'm not gonna say who it was, but they had a big show where they were doing inboxed N64 games at the cost of what they were when they were first came out. Um, that whole thing was a total debacle. I mean, it was bad. You couldn't get in to even make a. So basically, they would put it in buy it now, and you have to buy it right then and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would try to buy it, I would say yes. I'd hit the button. Oh, I'm sorry, someone else got it. And then they had the problem where they didn't turn off. They didn't turn it off that you couldn't buy multiple things.
Yeah.
And they turned that off. And then all of a sudden, when they turned that off, where there's one per person, they got flooded with all these brand new people that just showed up, which were
Mm-hmm.
probably bots, which were
Yeah.
trying to get these things to resell because a lot of them were like 200 and plus.
Yeah.
Um, so that was kind of annoying. Uh, they definitely need to fix that. But other than that, I mean, and Alex can say this as well, but like there's times where you find stuff on there and you're like, I if I was to buy that on eBay, I'd pay more. And I would have a hard time trying to see that one in the wild. So for collectors, I think it is good.
Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff. Today there was one person who I was watching, or it's a store, I guess I should say, and they had this really weird thing because they've been doing a lot of experimental things lately on their streams, and they go all day. Like, they start at like 7:30, and then
Which
they
is
go until
crazy.
like 5, and there's like 3 people who just like go and like go at certain times. Sometimes like it just has to be the same guy for a little while. So like he's like, all right, man, I'm gonna turn this one on for 3 minutes so I can go to the bathroom really quick. It's like just do this for 3 minutes, and then he comes back, and then he's there again and doing the product and all that. But they had this thing where for the certain amount of time, it was buy one get one for equal or lesser value in the buy it now. So when you bought something in the buy it now, then you have to tell them in the chat like, oh, I want number blah 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 in the buy it now, and then they would erase it from the buy it now, so then you would get the two things. So I got Yakuza 1 and 2 Japanese for the PS2. Um, but like, yeah, it broke their whatnot page. Like they,
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
it was, it's like they lost internet as well. So like it like came in and came back on, and yeah, it was a pain for them, to be honest. But I mean, they do well. Like that's the place that I buy from the most, because they don't test necessarily, but they tell you like they open up the box, they show you if it's complete. Sometimes they don't necessarily know what they have there, so like you can tell them like, oh, that's Lupin or that's whatever, and they're like, oh, okay, thanks, and like they're really like thankful. But like they open up and show you the disc, and they flip it over, and they're like, oh well, this is like heavily scratched or medium scratches, or he's like, it looks like it's just dirt, but I'm just gonna tell you it's lightly scratched because I don't want you to like say otherwise when you buy it. So he's like, just FYI, it's probably lightly scratched.
Yeah,
So like, yeah, they're really good about that kind of stuff. That's where I bought a lot of my Kingdom Hearts stuff. It's honestly, yeah, where I bought most of my stuff, besides the one other seller who's pretty cool, and I'm in their Discord, so I get some cool news. And um but yeah, I don't know. Whatnot's a cool thing. It's a cool place. Maybe I should stop doing it a little bit because like it is it's not a lot as far as money goes, because I feel like I'm getting stuff for cheap. But like I don't know. Maybe I am looking at this a little too much. But it's like you're at a it's like you're at a video game convention, but it's there on your phone all day.
yeah,
And then you're like, oh, I found this game for really cheap. This is cool. I'm gonna buy it. And then you're just like, you're just stuck in a store all day, and like that's what it is. Like, I mean, I glance at it like every once in a while, like when I'm working or something, like during a lull. Like I'm gonna be honest, like because like the way that I work and stuff, like yeah, I'm doing stuff, but like I can have that like muted or whatever, just like on my phone, and then see like, oh man, there is a Kingdom Hearts game there. I better bid fast. Um, because yeah, they're on all day. So I normally just have my phone plugged in and just sitting on my desk, and then I just watch it that way. Because I'm not going to use the website version, because the website version is just a blown up phone. It looks gross.
yeah.
But
I mean, I think, like I said, I think for what collectors are looking for, um, and it's only grown so much in the last couple of months. It's going to continue to grow.
yeah,
Um, but I thoroughly enjoy it, and I don't think I've ever got anything sent to me that wasn't like what they said there was. So that's
yeah.
awesome. That doesn't happen in the eBay world. I will tell you that.
There
I've
was
always
one thing that I bought where I didn't notice. They might have said something, but I think I had them on mute. But there was like a coffee stain or something on one of my Kingdom Hearts like PS3 copies. Like on the front cover art. So like there is something there, but the disc is fine. I'm fine.
that's the big important thing is like that. Like I can tell you when I was still on eBay, I would put everything down.
Yeah.
If there's this, if it's a little bit scratched, if it was tested, if it was untested,
Yeah.
uh, it's definitely. I will tell you when you have like 100 or so games, it's difficult to test anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
so yeah,
But
yes, those are the games I've been playing, and whatnot's fantastic.
it is pretty fun. We like it here. If you want to take a look at Whatnot yourself and get $10 if you spend $10, maybe Ben and I will put both of our links in there, and you get to decide who your favorite is. and just choose the one, you know? Choose it and choose and use it. We'll see if they like me better. We'll see if they like you better, you know? We'll figure it out.
I already know that I will not win this challenge.
Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll
who
probably
knows?
both not win, honestly. No one will
No,
use our links, and they're just
yeah,
like, no. I've already recommended this app to like 3 other people, and they like made an account immediately. They're like, so how do I use a referral link? I'm like, you were supposed to use my link to make an account. You can't use it
yeah,
afterwards. It's like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
I got my wife to do it, and she's like, "So I have to buy something?" I go, "Yeah, you have to buy something. That's how I get that referral,
Yeah,
bit." And she's like, "Well, I don't want to buy anything." I'm like, "Well, what was the point of you doing what you did?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what do you get? I get $10. Why do you get $10 and I don't get $10?"
She
I'm
gets
like,
ten
"Well,
dollars too,
yeah, but
afterwards.
she wanted another $10 after that."
Oh, okay.
My wife does not work like normal people. I love her to death, but no, no.
But anyway, besides things that we love to death, I guess that's the segue. We like some turtles, and we were thinking, hey, there's not a whole lot of news this week, so why not go and try to rank our favorite Ninja Turtles movies?
I
And
upset people with our list.
yeah,
You know,
probably. So this is like a tier list, I would say. Um, we can still like put it like in like um I mean, I guess I could do 1 through 7, but I don't know. We'll probably just go with tiers, and then like if it's before the other one, like say like all the movies were awesome, like we would do like okay, let's just say like man, 1 and 2 are really good, so we would if we switch it like this, that means 2 is number 1.
yeah,
So that's how we would do it. We're not gonna do Turtles Forever. This is just a pre-made thing that I found on here. Turtles Forever does not exist to me, so we are not going to do it. It's 2003 Turtles meets the 80s Turtles that happened like 2009, I think.
yeah.
It's not
And
the
I
real
don't think,
voice actors, so
yeah, that's a no go.
yeah. But anyway, I thought I'm trying to think of how we should do this. So I have my list of like my top Ninja Turtles movies. Do you want to go in order of like just these movies and like see where we put them? Or should I just like grab something random? Because I feel like if we're gonna go in order of chronologically, it's probably going to just like be the top to the bottom for the most part. So I mean, I guess okay. I'm gonna grab this one first, I guess. Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh my gosh.
Where should we put this? Should we even
It's,
have an S tier?
I mean, that movie is awful, and here's why it's awful. In my opinion, this is strictly my opinion. Is the other two before it had so much action and so many things with it, but this movie was more about the jokes. It was more about the comedy, and the story didn't really make a whole lot of
It's
sense.
also bad
Uh,
jokes.
yeah, they're bad. They were awful.
Yeah.
It was like you kind of felt at this point that the hype was starting to go downhill, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and it just was not. Now my 4 and 5 year old love the movie. They think it's the greatest thing ever. And then my older kids, when they were younger, this was their favorite. I think for that age group, they think it's great. Uh, it's just not a good film.
Yeah.
Even the animatronics on the faces were not as good as the
They're
others.
horrible. They look all spotty and gross.
Yeah, I'm actually got it pulled up now, like one of the pictures. It looks pretty bad. Which the other thing I had to say was like the martial arts in the other two were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You've got guys in 60, 70 pound suits doing those fight scenes. They looked really good. And this one, they just did not look good at all. At
Yeah.
all. It was just awful. So if you're in agreement, I think this one definitely should be an F.
100%. Like there's nothing there's nothing really redeeming about this film. Like at all. Like if there was something a little bit redeeming about this, it'd probably go into D, honestly.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't even have an F. But you know why this is an F to me? besides everything that you said, is that is now associated with the best game because every single re-release writes Turtles in Time on the stupid DVD boxes. It's not called Turtles in Time. It never has been called Turtles in Time, but every re-release says Turtles in Time for some reason, and like I don't get it.
Right. I totally agree with you. Um, yeah, I I have no problem putting us at F. And Alex and I actually talked before we decided to record. Um, it's going to be probably pretty close list here. It will probably be a very close list together.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. So, but if
So,
you,
hmm?
I mean, I would just pick a random one and we could talk about where we would put it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Well, what I want to grab next, I guess, is grab the first Michael Bay. First TMNT Michael Bay.
I
And
had that as my fifth.
that
My
was my fourth.
I would give it a C. I think a C is a good range because it wasn't like awful in my mind. Some of the visuals were bad.
Mm.
Um, it did have but the story wasn't horrible. They were like 9 foot tall, and they looked like I don't know what they look. They look like. Do you know what they kind of looked like? They literally looked like the Koopas from the Super Mario Brothers movie. They look like to me.
Don't worry,
Uh,
it's only a mask.
yes, but the action sequences are really good. In true Michael Bay fashion, stuff got blown up everywhere. But
Megan
it's one of
Fox
those
was there.
yeah, I mean, they had a really good cast.
Mm-hmm.
Will Arnett, which is weird
He
for him to do
was
an action.
so good.
He
Like
was.
I love that they made Vernon exist because Vernon wasn't in the original trilogy, and like he's one of the people who we just know from the cartoon, and he's perfect casting for Vernon.
Absolutely. And like the action sequences are really good. Um, I love when they go to the lair to take them out. And not only were they all fighting, but Master Splinter was fighting as well.
Mm-hmm.
It showed that why he was like truly a master. So I thought they were great. I thought the fight scenes were really good. Shredder was a little weird in
Yeah.
the giant mech suit, but them showing him fighting before he put the suit on though, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I just thought like, it got a lot of crap, I will tell you. Um, but I liked how they used Johnny Knoxville as a voice.
Yeah.
Uh, Crazy side story. So the guy that played Raphael is about the size of Raphael. Have you ever seen him?
No.
Oh my gosh, the guy's ginormous. He is the guy that's in that new Jack Reacher series on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was on a talk show. Jack Reacher where they couldn't put cuffs on him where he got arrested, so they put zip ties, and he broke the zip ties. So he showed him on live TV that he could break zip ties.
It's crazy.
I mean, he's a big dude. So
Yeah.
uh, I I think this one's not as bad as what everyone gives it crap for. To be honest,
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. I think it deserves to be there.
yeah,
Um. Yeah. I don't know if we'll have a D to be honest, but we'll see. I'm gonna grab the first one. 1990. 19
wow.
yeah, 1990, right? I
Yeah, I
think.
got it here. Yep, 1990.
Okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Um I have these on Blu-ray. Um well, I accidentally moved it into S tier. Uh but I mean, it's my number 1 on my list.
It's not my number one.
I know. But like here's the thing though. Right now, for what we're doing, it's tier based. I think that and we can move stuff later. On a given day, this and something in the second one would flip places all the time. But for for everything that the first movie does and does it, like it does it very well. It does it um it it does the comics, like the original comics, essentially. Like a lot of those story beats from that movie are from the comics. Um it's darker. There is humor. Um there are real stakes there. Um yeah, I like it a lot. Everyone is acting fairly well. All the voice acting for each of them is perfect in my opinion. Let's see, April's pretty good. I mean, she leaves in the next film, but like she's pretty
Yeah.
good in this one. Um, we have Casey Jones, and he's awesome. The Raphael and Casey Jones bromance is hilarious and awesome. There are so many quotable things from this movie that I like would constantly quote with my friends all the time. Now I don't really talk to anyone about Ninja Turtles anymore, so I can't do that. But like yeah, like cricket. Nobody understand cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket, or just the critters. Like where they come up with this stuff, or
Not
just
only,
yelling "damn" just really really
yeah,
loud.
which was hilarious because they had to put that in the rating.
Yeah,
Uh, and I don't think it was PG-13. I think it was still PG, or maybe
yeah.
it was.
No, it's still PG.
Okay, which is hilarious because Transformers put certain words in their animated movie to make it PG-13. So when you would go see it, you had to go with the parents. So they could get 2 tickets. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I this one's not my all-time favorite, and the reason is it's supposed to be a darker film. You're right, but like the camera, I guess my problem is the lighting. The lighting is very dark,
Yeah,
and sometimes it makes it very hard to kind of see a lot of the stuff. Um, you know, but I will tell you that they got Shredder down. Shredder was great.
yeah,
Uh, the Foot Clan, the whole thing about influencing kids to steal to become Foot Clan was awesome.
yeah.
Um, you know,
Who's
and
the sensei? What's that guy's name? I
I
always
can't
forget.
think.
I'm looking it up
He,
right now.
I will tell you, like he was in a. Did you know that he was in a movie with Brandon Lee?
No.
Showdown in Little China. It's Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren as cops, and he is one of the main yakuza.
Okay. Tatsu. That's his name.
Yes.
Master Tatsu. And then Orokusaki. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think it's not my favorite, but I would definitely put it. I definitely think it's a good movie, and I think that's the
Yeah.
start of the franchise. I really do.
Yeah. There are definitely like stupid moments in this movie. Like, uh, I don't know. Like Danny, I feel like is a good character. Like the kid who's stealing, but he goes through like really bad character development towards the end
Yeah,
where he has that line where he talks to his father, like the police officer, or no, not police officer,
he's like the head of the
the head of
the
yeah,
TV station.
yeah,
Yeah,
TV station, and he's just like, Danny, I thought you were gone. He's like, it's Dan now. It's like to show that he's grown up or something. And then
Al-
his dad looks at him really weird, and he does this like gesture, like Dan. It's like so even he wasn't like confident in the
also,
line.
also the animatronics were amazing for the time frame. Jim Henson Studio, props to them
Is this the
because
movie where you can see someone inside one of the
yeah,
suits when he laughs and you can see like a mouth inside the mouth?
yeah, I will tell you, like Jim Henson though, like no one else would have been able to do this in this year, you
Yeah.
know, and like with Splinter and everything else, they did it right. So I'm not gonna argue on your rating here. I don't know if it's an S. Um, that's rough. I would say it's an A, but I wouldn't say it's an S. On my list, by the way, I had it at number 4.
You had this movie at number 4?
I did. I did. No judgment. I thought this was the no judgment zone.
Well, this has been the Get At Gaming podcast. Thank you for stopping.
This is a non-judgment zone. So, but after hearing you talk about it, I really did just watch all of these all over again.
This movie is so iconic. But
Yeah.
yes, like, okay, so honestly, okay, fine. We're gonna go to the next one. Multiple things can be on multiple tier lists. I guess I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
So like, for example, we can change Ninja Turtles later. Feel like it. I just want to keep on this right now because I feel like I argued that well enough.
Yeah.
But okay, let's just go with number 2 then. Like, for example, I think they're both S, and I think number 2 is right behind number 1, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, not only did you expand on what they already did in the first one, but better fight sequences. The suits were better. The animatronics were better. Also, a very young Ernie Reyes Jr., who, in my mind, is a fantastic martial artist.
Kino.
I mean, yes, watching him fight those people at the very beginning, where he's like, "Did I also mention that I practice martial arts?" Watching him take those guys down, and then the other ones, he's like, "What am I gonna do?" You and me both know you're gonna probably take in the rest of the room.
He was in well, he was inside the Donatello suit for the last film, right? Or was it Leonardo?
Thought it was Leonardo.
Okay, maybe. He was in one of the suits, and then they're like, "Hey, you're so good, you should just be an actor in the next film."
If anyone's ever seen Dwayne Johnson's first really big movie into the action scene, it's called The Rundown with him, Sean William Scott. There is a scene where he fights Dwayne Johnson, and he still has it. How quick he moves is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know he's been dealing with a lot of health problems in the last couple of years, but he was awesome. I mean, he was even in The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
He was a little kid, and he was awesome there. And let's not forget Surf Ninjas, which is basically Ninja Turtles, but with people.
Oh yeah, of course.
But this movie's just so well done. It's better. You get. I was super excited when I saw the trailer as a kid on TV, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it is 1991. They're gonna do Bebop and Rocksteady, but instead
got Toka.
Razor.
Yeah, you got them.
The animations on them were great. I mean, they look really good even today by today's standards. But it's just a good movie. I will also say that I had the entire soundtrack on cassette tape.
I think I had one of them on cassette. I'm pretty sure I did, but yeah, like that movie is excellent. In my opinion, the first 2 movies are just really high up there because they're essentially one connected movie for me. Like the first one is really dark and everything, but it builds up to the second movie. And now they're more established in the second movie. They can be more goofy. They can be more themselves from the cartoon. Yeah, Kino's great. There's no dominoes in this one. I think there's a Bart Simpson cameo by that weird glass of like when he like makes the formula, and it's just like a Bart Simpson glass. And when I was a kid, like I knew what the Simpsons was, but I never watched it. I was like, man, that drink looks gross. But like the Bart Simpson on the glass is the thing that like sticks in my mind the most.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what's crazy is watching these now with my kids. Like, oh my gosh, they love them. You know,
Vanilla Ice.
I had to actually buy the song from there because my 2 younger kids, the 2 younger boys, they love that song, and I would get it on I have Pandora, right? So I would like it, and it would show up. Well, after a while, that song stopped showing up so often, so I had to buy it. And also, my older son, when he got his first iPod when he was like 12,
that
was the first song that he purchased.
Oh, I purchased it when I was younger, when I had a iPod when I was a kid. Because it's a banger. It's a really good song. Honestly, it's very catchy and it's hilarious in canon. of like where Vanilla Ice is just having this weird concert on the docks inside like an old like rustic building in a club, and then he just sees these turtles and he's just like, hey, I'm gonna rap about turtles all of a sudden. Like he didn't have any of that planned, but in the movie it's just like, oh, we're gonna do a ninja rap.
I love I love the guy in the club that's just watching all this and thinking this is part of like the show.
Yeah.
He's love this club.
Yeah.
And like they're like, okay, this is this is really happening right now. Uh, it's just such a great movie, and like I hand it to the stunt guys because being able to move like that in those suits has got to be difficult. You know,
Mhm.
it's not easy, and I think that's where they nailed this movie because I think that's probably out of all three, this is the most physical I've seen them in those suits. You know?
It is, and it's really cool how they explore the origins of them
Yeah,
with the T is it TCRI or is TGRI in this? Because it's it
TGI, I think.
okay. Because TCRI is from like the other cartoons, like the CG one, and then it's also from like the comics. Like it for some reason they changed it in the this movie. But like yeah, it's cool to like see the ooze canister and he tells the story again, and you see like the little Ninja Turtles, the baby ones, like how they grow up and they're just like pizza. um
Which I found hilarious because in this, it showed like in these movies, it showed that Splinter was a rat to somebody else and learned martial arts from his master.
yeah.
But in the cartoon show, he had the ooze on him and turned into a rat.
Yeah. So because this is like in the comics, the original comics, it was the rat of his master. So that's why it is like that in this movie. Because yeah, he learned from Hamato. Is it Hamato Yoshi or yeah, Hamato Yoshi, and then Oroku Saki is the Shredder. Um, but like yeah, again, I mean, pretty much the same voice acting cast and cast in general. But say April O'Neil's different, but like it's still really really good. Yeah, I think this movie is excellent, and I think it deserves to be on S tier as well.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
All right, now this is where it's going to get a little lower,
Yeah.
maybe.
So,
Um, yeah, we're gonna. This is just gonna go here, just so I don't accidentally click it. I don't know if it's actually an F. Probably for me, but it's been so long. But anyway, let's do this one that's on our feed here. Batman and Teenage. Is it Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
yeah, which it's hilarious because you've got Batman characters and villains fighting with or working with the Foot Clan. Uh,
Yeah,
so the turtles are chasing after Shredder, bump into the Penguins men, beat the crap out of them, and then Batman shows up and they get into a fight, and the turtles get their butt handed to them by Batman by himself.
yeah.
But I think the coolest thing is the fight scenes between Shredder and Batman.
Well, and they get all oozed as well. Like they use the ooze to like transform. Didn't Harley Quinn turn into like a cheetah or something? Like her pets, or I guess a hyena maybe. And then Batman kind of turns into like a little bit of a bat, I think, if I remember right. But like, yeah, it's just interesting to see how like Shredder and the Joker and all of them like just like, hey, let's use the
Yeah,
ooze to make ourselves more powerful and to just mess around with Batman.
yeah, and I think the best part was that they had to fight Shredder. Ra's al Ghul was in it as well. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
forgot.
but it was crazy watching them fight Ra's al Ghul and totally not winning, and then finally understanding how it worked.
Hmm.
And then you had Batman lose against Shredder the first time around, and then the second time he comes back, he was like, "No, I got this." But it was just kind of cool, and it had a really great voice cast as well.
Yeah,
Uh, Kevin Conroy was in it. I'm actually looking it up on IMDb. Um, I saw this and I was like, I don't know what to think on this, right? Like, is
Hmm.
this really good? But after watching it, I was like, dude, this is like legit. And they were like the comic book turtles. They were not like um the other. I'm looking at a voice cast now. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to see some of these. Uh, but yeah, I think definitely great cast, great movie. It was not Kevin Conroy, it's Troy Baker who played Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just to me, it was just a really great movie. And not only that, you had Robin, you had Batgirl as well. I
Hmm.
think Nightwing was in it. I think Nightwing was in it.
I think so. Yeah.
But it was kind of cool to see the Turtles try and take on Ra's al Ghul, who's a very formidable fighter,
Hmm.
and Shredder. But like Shredder was not getting it an easy win that first time around.
Yeah.
Uh, I loved it when like he threw the batarangs and he was just using his thing, like his things on his hand to just shred them.
Hmm.
And then Batman was using his gauntlets as well. So it's like I just think it was a great movie.
Yeah, they're pretty equally matched, which is pretty cool to see. And I think that's why Batman was just caught off guard the first time.
Also, I have to say that Michelangelo was hilarious with the whole car thing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and Batman's like, "Don't touch anything." And so finally, at the very end, he's like, "Touch that red button." And so that was really awesome to be able to do that. You
Hmm.
know?
Yeah. Overall, yeah, I think it's a pretty good film. Um, I don't know if I would rank it above even the Michael Bay one. Like, I think I find it enjoyable,
I'll
but
give you.
like it's probably still a C, but just like
Yeah,
right underneath it. Like, it's enjoyable. I will watch it again, but like it's not the greatest thing ever. I guess that's what
I
I should say.
agree. I mean, I think it's good, but it's not an A or a B. I will say that.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like everything is going to just be. I feel like there's gonna be nothing in the D slot here, and
Yeah,
it's just gonna be C and up. And all these movies are excellent or good.
yeah, and I don't think, except for three not being the best, I could still watch it. I don't like it as much, but
Mm,
they're all good films. They're all good movies, and
mm,
so um, I think I don't think there's anything that needs to be a D level.
yeah.
So no, you're right.
All right. Okay. Here we go. We're going to do Out of the Shadows, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the second Michael Bay, Krang, Bebop and Rocksteady, Casey Jones, could be anywhere. This besides these two right here, this was my number three.
And this is where we're gonna piss a lot of people off because I agree with you.
I think it's a really good film. I think it deserves to be an A.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the show started. Um, the actors they got to play Bebop and Rocksteady were awesome.
Yeah,
They even got Baxter, who the thing that cracked me up is
Tyler Perry as Baxter
yeah,
Stockman.
but like um, even with that, there was still a little bit of hint about him mutating himself.
Yeah,
So um, it, I know
he
people give Michael Bay crap, but
he did Mausers too, didn't he? Use Mausers to like find them underneath the sewers. So like he
yeah,
was doing Baxter Stockman things, and
yeah,
yeah, like there was actual like lore being built. Like, sure, if you don't like the first one, that's totally fine. If you don't like the first Michael Bay, like I can see why someone wouldn't like it. But the
yeah,
second one does so much lore wise and like pays pretty good like homage to like the previous things of Ninja Turtles that like it deserves to be up here.
yeah.
Um yeah, it's an excellent film. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think the best part about it was Bebop and Rocksteady together.
Yeah.
Uh, were hilarious. You had the guy that's like Sheamus, who's a WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
Gary Anthony Williams, he's a phenomenal actor. I
Mm.
remember watching him in Malcolm in the Middle. But what cracks me up is them two together are hilarious and they're dumb, like like real Bebop and Rocksteady. Uh,
Yeah.
I love it when they transform and he's like, I'm a rhinoceros. And the other guy goes, and you're a pig. And he looks in the mirror and he was like, I'm a little piggy, like
Yeah.
even though they're like
Or the
over.
first thing that they do, which is like is an adult, I guess, joke, but it's something that like a Bebop and Rocksteady would do. They just look in their pants, just look at their junk, and then they
Yeah,
just like high five. They're like, awesome.
yeah, exactly. Um, and obviously Stephen Amell playing Casey Jones. I mean, at this
Perfect,
point,
perfect
he
casting around that time.
yeah. I mean, he had been playing Arrow for a while now,
Mm-hmm.
Green Arrow. So perfect there. The only thing that they did differently is they did change the voice of Leonardo because there was some scheduling conflicts with Johnny Knoxville. But everyone else was the same.
Who was the voice for him in that?
Pete uh, Polinsky,
Okay.
and this guy has been in, uh, which is weird because they have him as Leonardo in the first one, but that was Johnny Knoxville. But he was in Captain.
Unless he did some like ADR near the end.
I think he probably did. But he's been in a couple films. He's not been anything like. I'm trying to look at his IMDb right now. Um, I know there was something going on with Johnny Knoxville in the first one. I know there was like something whether he quit or he couldn't do it. Um, but and people give Michael Bay crap for the Transformers. I get it, but these films were not as bad as what everyone said they were. I thought they were great, um, and everything past the third Transformers is good. I think the first three are good. After that, it got really weird. Um, but they also introduced Krang in this film.
Brad Garrett is Krang. I forgot that.
Yeah, which by the way, they nailed it because that's
Yeah.
Krang.
Yeah.
Except for the his voice not being like normal
Up and
Krang,
up and down. Yeah.
yeah, and slobbering. But yeah, I would agree with you on your ranking there. I definitely think out of the two, it's probably the better one. Um, although nothing's more hilarious in the first one where they take the adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, we got one more movie here. We got TMNT. CG 2006, I think. Um, and this is a pretty much a spiritual successor, spiritual sequel to the original trilogy, because there is a scene where you see just like the wall of stuff that they have, and like there is like the staff that made them like transform, like teleport to the past and the future. There's like a shredder helmet. There's like, I don't know, the TGRI stuff. Like there's like little things here or there just on the wall that reference the
Yeah,
previous movies and their previous adventures. But like it's an interesting film. From what I remember, the beginning is very much like a we're getting the band back together type film. Um, because like they're all doing their own thing. Like Donatello, I think, just works for IT help desk. um, like he just has an actual job. Um, let's see, I forget what the others are doing, but like I know like they all just kind of have their own lives, and like we haven't seen, I don't know, Raphael in a long time, and like
he Donna Michelangelo was doing parties, and he would wear like just a helmet that looked
yeah,
like one of the Ninja Turtles. Um, that's pretty much it. What's crazy is I'm on the thing now looking at the voice work. Um, holy crap!
yeah,
So Nolan North was Raphael.
yeah,
Um, Lawrence Fishburne was the narrator.
yeah,
Chris Evan was Casey. Mako was Splinter, which I already knew. Which, by the way, he has some of the best. I know he passed several years ago, but his voice work was fantastic.
yeah,
Uh, but like, you know, there's such a huge cast here. Uh, of who was in it, including Patrick Stewart. as Winters. But I liked this one because it wasn't Splinter. The Foot Clan was still around, but it wasn't like that. Also, it showed April being trained by Splinter,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed her getting into her role as well. Uh, spoiler if you haven't seen it from 2007, but I was telling Alex as my favorite thing is the very end that they kidnap Leonardo, and so the whole team has to go after him. But they got Casey, they got Splinter, and they're running through this like giant open area, and everyone's fighting Foot Clan all at once. It's
Yeah.
the craziest thing ever to see. To see not only like obviously Casey doing his thing, which no problem there, but watching like Master Splinter and like there's scenes where like they are all teaming up. So Master Splinter's doing something and helps out one of the other ones, or vice versa. Uh, just a really good scene, and the music in that movie was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
thought this movie was pretty good. The only thing that hurts it, to be honest, is that it looks really good for its time. It's not really timeless as far as the way that the cartoon
yeah,
looks. It's too dark and rubbery, if that makes sense. For like the way that everything just looks with the CG. But it's still a very good looking film. Um, so like that's why I think it knocks down a few points there for me. Um, but like because it's CG though, you can do a lot more to it. That's why you can get a little more ridiculous and do things like that. But yeah, I remember enjoying this movie quite a bit. I never saw it in theaters. I only saw it on DVD when I bought my 4-pack at like a Walmart years ago. Because they had like 1, 2, and 3 and TMNT. And I was like,
yeah.
all right, cool. I guess I'm watching TMNT for the first time. And I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Voice acting is pretty good. All this other stuff.
I
Um,
I physically do not own these
hang on.
copies. These.
Hang on. Something's happening to me.
Oh no.
I can't hear. Okay. No one could hear that anyway, but there I got an ad on this thing, so I could only hear it. So like luckily no one heard realtor.com or whatever. But yeah, like yeah, I got an ad on this thing because I was holding stuff for too long. But anyway, I am back. I can hear. Um yeah, sorry, continue. What were you saying? I couldn't hear it all because that was way too loud.
I don't own any of these physical versions. But I want
I
to.
own the trilogy on Blu-ray, and then I still have that 4-pack that has TMNT.
Well, and I feel like they're not hard to get, you
No,
know.
they're not.
And I don't buy a lot of physical media anymore unless it's something like I gotta have. But like these movies are so um, iconic, and they, with the 2 new games coming out, we've got the Cowabunga collection coming out um, this summer,
Mm-hmm.
I think, right, June, and then
Yeah,
Shredder's Revenge coming out this year.
yeah.
It's great to see like you know these movies are still good. They're still classics. And if you noticed, none of them except for 3 were ranked low. Everything is really good, and even 3 is tolerable. It's not the best,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still watch it. It's not like god awful. But yeah, I think it's great to do like these lists and talk about it. We actually, Alex and I were going to do this during the holidays for our holiday episodes, but we're going to do it early. We
Yeah,
like to
it's
mix it
fine.
up for you guys.
Now, where do you want to put TMNT? Because I think it like I don't know. Like on my previous list, it was underneath these like in here, but now we're talking about it a little bit more. It might be somewhere right here
I
because of
think
all the extra things that it does.
I think it's a B just because it is like such a good story, and you know, it kind of shows like what happens when Leonardo actually left,
Mm-hmm.
in South America. And it was cool watching him, like a story in South America where there was drug cartels and he was taking them all out by himself.
Yeah.
You know, and then Raph is doing his thing where he dresses up um, and drives around in this suit with a helmet fighting crime.
Yeah.
So uh, I think it's really cool. I actually was asking because of my Ninja Turtle back there. It's Ronin um,
Mm.
Ninja Turtle, but it's very close to that. So, but like I said, I think these movies are iconic, and I think they're all really good. Even three, which is horrible to watch sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. So, I guess unless you want to, unless you have any objections, so I guess our S tier is 1 and 2. So the original 1990 and Secret of the Ooze. Our A tier is Out of the Shadows, which is the second Michael Bay. B tier we got TMNT, 2006 CG. C tier we got the first Michael Bay. What do you say? 2014? Is that what you said it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Either that or 2012. One and two. 2014. Yep. And then we have still in the C tier Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Um, and then F tier we have no D tier, and then we just go F tier Ninja Turtles 3.
I think that's a pretty. I think that's in the right spots for everything.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, like Ninja Turtles 3, I personally do not like, and I don't have any attachment to ever go back. However, like it is definitely the worst of all of these, and that's why it deserves to be as low as possible. Um, but it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it is very bad. um, but yeah, I guess that is our list of Ninja Turtles, which is basically my original list, except these two were flipped around. Team
Yeah,
NT and the 2014 one were. But as I've said before earlier, the first two movies, 1990 and the 91 Ninja Turtles 2, like those can flip at any time for me, honestly, because they're both just excellent movies. But yeah, what do you think of our lists here? Why not go ahead and write on the YouTube comments your favorite Ninja Turtles movies, favorite Ninja Turtle properties, because like they're a lot. There are comics, there are the Mirage comics, there are the Dark Horse comics. There's a bunch of different things. Cartoons. There's so many different cartoons.
oh my god,
Yeah, the CG one I never finished it, but it was excellent. The previous one
oh yeah.
on Nickelodeon. It's all on Hulu, I think, still, but like it's really good. But yeah, this has been our episode of Get At Gaming Plus podcast. If you like what you see here, consider hitting that subscribe button, and yeah, you can look more at our beautiful faces here on youtube.com/Get At Gaming. If you would rather listen to this on an audio format, you can go to any of your favorite podcast services, honestly. iTunes, Spotify, you can go to even like Amazon and stuff like that. And you can find us, search for Get At Gaming. You should be able to find us over there. Anchor.fm/Get At Gaming. If you make an account, you can leave a voicemail. We really appreciate if you could do that, and then we could have a cool little like voicemail episode. But yeah, I don't know if I had anything else written down. Oh, I guess yeah. I guess we have a shout out of the week.
We do.
We do. That's the thing I almost forgot. Shout out of the week this week is friend of the show, Gluten Free Waifu. You can catch her over on Twitch. She's also on TikTok as well as Twitter occasionally. She's currently playing a bunch of different things. Kingdom Hearts for the first time, the first or final mix, so on the PC. And she's also playing like Final Fantasy VII Remake and some Pokemon Arceus and some Zelda, I believe. But yeah, go ahead and give her a follow and subscribe if you wish, and check out her cool content over there. But yeah, do you have anything else to say, Ben?
Just to get at it.
Get at it.